Sheriff Lamb, you have been face to face with these types of illegal, violent, criminal, sexual predators. What are they thinking, Sheriff?
I don't know, because I'm not liberal, so I don't think like they do. But what they look like is spoiled little children who don't get their way, and now they want to go sit. And man, these are grown people who are supposed to be representing a congressional district, and looking at them sitting there like children who didn't get their way. It is pathetic. And yet they don't want to get, they were nowhere to be found. She talks about Constitution and congressional oversight, yet they were nowhere to be found over the last 4 years under the Biden administration to check them up for what they were doing to this country by allowing the invasion into this country. Now they want congressional oversight. Look, these folks, they cannot get out of their own way.
All right. I'm going to play one I know will get a chuckle out of you until you realize just how sad it is that they actually think like this. This is this Senator Van Hollen. He's the one that went down trying to get the Maryland man back from El Salvador. Play cut 5 for the sheriff.
This holding cell has also become a place where the Trump administration's plan to violate people's constitutional right to due process has been front and center.
You know, they keep talking about constitutional rights. They're not citizens of America. They don't have the same rights as us, Sheriff.
Well, they're interpreting persons their way. That's what they want to do. That's where they get that from the Constitution. But this guy is the epitome of just being tone deaf. He goes and defends a man who was a criminal, who was trafficking humans. But it's all about trying to get this due process. They don't really want due process for the people. What they want is to bog down the system for President Trump and this administration. They want to impede them from doing the job that the American people tasked them to do, which was to remove these people from this country. And the majority of the time, they're defending criminals. I will tell you firsthand, Grant, that the level of care that is required by the federal government for ICE detainees, whether it's in a jail or in a private detention facility, that level of care is very high. And these people are not being mistreated. They're actually being treated, and the standard is higher than what an American citizen would get if they were in jail awaiting some type of adjudication.
You know, Sheriff, you mentioned due process, because he mentioned due process. What they failed to tell you, I think there's like a million illegal aliens under final removal orders, meaning they've had their due process. A judge says it is time to go. Many of the people in that detention center are those exact final removal orders. Your thoughts?
Well, I was reading the article where it was talking about some of these people that you saw where they're arrested. Many of them have been arrested for multiple crimes: DUI, sex with children, aggravated assault, sexual assault on children. Yet they were arrested and then released. So the courts have failed the American people. Now the administration is doing the job of removing this filth from our country. And then you have the Democrats standing in the way saying they didn't get their due process. Actually, they did over and over and over again. And frankly, due process failed the American people. And the executive branch has the right and the authority to remove these people from the country. The left needs to get out of the way so that we can do our job.
Yeah, they sure do. Sheriff Mark Lamb, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you for your insight on all of this, and we'll talk again soon.
Good to talk to you.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you, too. And, folks, this is happening all across the country. What I want to do, though, is applaud the men and women of ICE who are really going around and scooping up very dangerous people at a very swift pace. But it's still not swift enough when you talk about the millions that are here. What is working at a very swift pace is the self-deportation plan. Literally, more people are self-deporting than ever before. That's a kudos to the Trump administration as well.